Today I want to provide an update on our response to the China virus.
As this virus continues to ravage the world, there are also questions about how this all started. Some say that it was a wet market inside Wuhan.
China is now reporting many more cases of SARS.
The outbreak spreads. More people infected this morning with that dangerous new strain of bird flu.
We have been talking about the possibility of airborne transmission and aerosol transmission.
We saw these mass closures of the restaurants and the stores and the gyms and the bars and the coffee shops. And that's when we really started to see all of this massive rise, like what we reported yesterday, of close to 10 million Americans filing for jobless claim.
In the past 2 weeks, the number of cases of COVID-19 outside China has increased 13-fold, and the number of affected countries has tripled. There are now more than 118,000 cases in 114 countries, and 4,291 people have lost their lives. Thousands more are fighting for their lives in hospitals. In the days and weeks ahead, we expect to see the number of cases, the number of deaths, and the number of affected countries climb even higher.
2020, what a year. COVID-19, social injustice, famine, natural disasters, hardship, and death. We've all been impacted by this year. How do we proceed into 2021? How do we live our lives? In the book of Joshua, a young man is also given a task of taking over a nation. Fear, unrest, division, disputes, political and leadership differences and hardships, complaints and grumbling all around him. He is overwhelmed and deeply burdened by the trials of life. Similar to your life and my life, many of us are uncertain as to how we'll proceed in this new year. Yet he turns to the one constant in his life, the Lord his God. In Joshua chapter 1, verse 9, Joshua's God reminds him, "Have I not commanded you to be strong and courageous? Do not be frightened, do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Joshua needed to be reminded of his calling. He needed to be reminded of God's protection. He needed to be reminded of God's overarching plans. And he needed to be reminded of God's power, but also ultimately of God's presence. As we welcome 2021, let us not be discouraged, dismayed, frightened, overwhelmed, anxious, or concerned. Let us be reminded that we have a God who is indeed with us and will be there with us all of 2021. Whatever goals or plans or dreams that we've had, would we put them in God's presence? And will we ask the Lord our God to be with us in the midst of that journey? Would 2021 be a year of faith and not fear? May the Lord our God be with all of us, and especially with you during this season. God bless.